Welcome back, everybody. Now, this aims to cultivate the next generation of award-winning winemakers as well as empower students while promoting transformation within that industry. That's the Cape Winemakers Guild Protégé program, which is funded by the Nedbank Cape Winemakers Guild Development Trust. The program allows the protégés to learn the science and art of winemaking and gain first-hand experience of the inner workings of the cellar. And one of the protégés is Mahalia Kotjane, who joins us from our Sea Point studios. And here in Johannesburg, we have Khensani Nobanda, who is the Group Executive for Marketing and Corporate Affairs at Nedbank. Ladies, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome.
Thank you for having us.
I'm going to start with you, Khensani. Briefly tell us how this program came about and what it is about.
So as a bank, we sponsor the Cape Winemakers Guild, which is basically about 40 winemakers who aim to step change the quality of wine in South Africa. But I think one of the things that's clear in the sponsorship of this program is that the wine industry needs to be transformed even more. So we set up the Protégé program with the Cape Winemakers Guild in order to get the young black winemakers into the industry so they learn winemaking, which we sponsor and do with the Cape Winemakers Guild.
I mean, what's its role really? Is it in the areas of, incubating or maybe mentorship?
All of it, to be honest. You actually, and I think, she can tell you even more because she's part of the program, but you actually get exposed to all the areas of winemaking. And at the end of it, you can choose to decide which area you actually want to grow your career in. Yeah. But you get exposed to the, 360-degree view of winemaking. Okay. Yeah.
Mahalia, a very warm welcome to you. Let me bring you into this conversation. I mean, what is it about winemaking that interested you so you are part of this program?
Well, basically, I would say it all happened by chance. I was born and raised in Vosloorus, Gauteng's East Rand, and my parents to Totolas, and me and my siblings were not exposed to any alcohol. And so in grade 9, we were tasked to do a project about the role of microorganisms, and I chose to do mine on winemaking. And basically, that's where my wine love affair began.
Just take us through the art of winemaking. What does it entail, really?
Well, it entails quite a few things. First and foremost, vineyards. In the grapes, you need the grapes in order to make the wine. So it's that one of the biggest aspects actually. And then you have the whole process facilitation of the grapes into wine, and that's where I would come in. So I would basically facilitate the whole process, from the grapes into the cellar, process them into wine, and then you have your final product, which is wine.
All right. Now, Khensani, you also mentioned transformation in this industry. Was that the main driver for this program?
Absolutely. It's quite clear that agriculture is going to be a key part of growing this economy from a GDP perspective. And as Nedbank, if we wanted more people to be able to participate in quite an important industry for us, because if you think of why Cape Winemakers Guild started, it started to really step change the quality of wine in South Africa. So we want that to be inclusive of all South Africans in the growth of the wine industry.
Okay, and how has the Protégé program grown since inception?
Very well. You've got a couple of winemakers, and by the way, part of the program, what happens is they get a stint out of the country, so they get to go, whether it's a winemaking country, whether you go to the US where Napa, there's like some wines there, or you go to Burgundy in France, so they get a chance to go out of the country to experience wine somewhere else. But you've got people who've actually become deputy winemakers in particular wines. Some people are creating different wines, so they've actually been able to achieve quite a lot for themselves through this program.
And how many have graduated from it?
It's probably about 40 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Mahalia, where to from here? Now that you're part of this program, what are your bigger plans with regards to this industry?
Well, my plans include, being among South Africa's top winemakers, building my own wine brand, 3 Quarters, and just continuing, crafting and honing my skills as a winemaker of excellence. That's where I'm heading at. What
is your view about the state of the winemaking industry, particularly black-owned winemakers? Do you think there needs to be done? More needs to be done?
Yes, no, definitely. I think there's measures being put in place. I think slowly but surely, transformation, especially getting, people of color, women, just more involved in the whole in the industry per se. So I think we're heading in the right direction because we need it so that we make sure that the industry remains sustainable and it can grow in that direction.
And I suppose that access to finance is the biggest hindrance. If you think of winemaking, it discourages so many people because of the complexities that it involved. I mean, what kind of advice would you have for those shying away from this industry?
Well, if you want to go into production, I mean, yes, it's very capital intensive. I would say have a good business plan, know what you want to make, and I think one thing that will definitely help us even as a country in the industry is just to push premium quality wines. I think little places on a stage in terms of competing on a global scale with all the other wine producers in the world.
Right.
So making good quality wines is definitely what we should invest in.
Now, Khensani, does Nedbank come to the party in terms of funding?
Absolutely. And actually, so she's talking about quality of wine. I think the reality is we want to be competitive globally with our wines, which is actually why the Cape Winemakers Guild was started in the first place. We want to be able to say, when someone says, I'm drinking a champagne, we want our wines in South Africa to be at that standard. So we definitely come to the party in terms of sponsorship. And part of that sponsorship is to sponsor the Protégé program to make sure that the industry gets transformed. And I just want to add, if you do want to taste the wines, you can actually come to the showcase on the 15th of August. It's going to be in Cape Town at the ICC. And on the 21st of August, it's going to be in Joburg at the Nedbank offices on 135 Rivonia. And these are the best wines you can actually find in South Africa. So the Protégés, what's fantastic is they're getting trained by the best of the best. So hopefully what comes out of that is, our future winemakers who are going to help us compete on a global scale.
This is what South Africa needs.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so that was Khensani Nobanda. She's the Group Executive for Marketing and Corporate Affairs at Nedbank. With her is the Protégé, Mahalia Kotjane, speaking to us about the Cape Winemakers Guild Protégé program, which aims to cultivate the next generation of award-winning winemakers. This is Morning Live. We take a quick break now.